Hey everybody, Sci-Fi Modeler here. Today's part 3 of my Space 1999 Eagle 2 build. Eagle 2, which is actually Eagle 4, because it's the laboratory pod. But anyway, I digress. Here's the finished pod, and definitely putting the ceiling in last, and being able to put the side sections and then glue from the inside. I was very advantageous. I mean, at this point there's only like tiny sections like here. I'm either gonna just put a little strip of Tamiya glue, or I might put some Vallejo putty in there. I'm not quite sure yet. But everything for the 99 percentile of it is really tight. There's another gap there. Now the doors I may have cut them maybe not as carefully as I should have. So I got some little seams around the doors. So I'll just I will have to do something about that. But this went together really well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do the spine, and I'm going to do these pods and some odds and ends. But okay, talking about the spines, I got this trick from somebody on YouTube, and I forget the guy's name. If I remember, I'll put it in the comment in the description. Basically, one of the easiest ways to put the spine together. First of all, it's four pieces along the side. You just put the two together. That's simple enough. Then you have all these long sections and all these short sections. The long sections go underneath, the small one goes on top. So easiest thing to do is to put on offsetting sides, one on top, one below, and the same on the other, one below, so that when you put them together, and hopefully I did this right because I haven't even checked it since I did this a few minutes ago, and I'm blocking the camera. But basically, you bring it together, it'll come together like this, and that'll be your main frame. And once you got these two pieces together, then you can just flip it upside down and continue building it. I would put these sections in first, and then just plop in the large sections, flip it over, plop in the small sections. Now, keep in mind, these are cut a certain way to make it easy for you. So, for example, this bottom piece, okay, see if I can get that to focus, has these little ends here, okay, and they fit on this spine a certain direction. So this is a long one, so this one goes on the bottom. So as you put it in, figure out what side it fits in where there's no seams. So right there, it fits right in. And you look below, and you rotate it basically to the point where it fits right in, and it'll automatically align itself. So right now, these ends, yeah, you have to be careful. You have to hold them in for a while, quick cement to get them in there. But as long as you put it in the spot where there's no holes or spaces around the perimeter, it's pretty much straight. And once you connect it with the other piece, they'll straighten themselves out. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. Now on these pod sections, there's 4 of them, and there's a specific orientation for the front starboard, the front port, the rear starboard. Again, port is left side, starboard's right side. So looking at the directions, they tell you which one's which, and as long as you just carefully do one at a time, put it together, and then what I do is I put some tape on the end, put some masking tape on the end, and I label it so that when it's time, I just slip it in. I mean, I'm not even going to bother gluing this whole section into the main body. I'm just going to, like I said, put a piece of tape here, and these are just friction fit in there. And one word to the wise, because one time I did this, I messed this up on the old kit. This part here that fits on the inside, make sure this hole is towards the center. As long as you have that, you can't make a mistake. They're all identical for any of the pods. This piece is identical, and this is where the landing gear goes through. And one time I did it like this, so not very smart. Anyways, so that's how that goes. And I'm also going to probably take care of some of the easier stuff here, such as these engine tanks. Just pop those together real quick, real easy. And also all these, if I can find them, all of these parts that are like just monotonous, but here we go. All the rocket parts, bunch of these, real easy to put together, kind of monotonous to, you know, but easy to put together. So I'm gonna do these in this part also. So that's pretty simple. Make sure you orientate these the right direction. At one point, I think it was one of these, I put this piece upside down, and that really annoyed me. So just make sure you put them in the right orientation, and this is easy as cake. So again, on this part, when I do this part, I'm basically just gonna prime and paint this, and then I'm gonna prime and paint the directional rockets separately, and I'll put these on at the very end. And what else? Oh, these parts here on the lab pod. Show you, find out where the best. Oh, I'm sorry, not the lab pod, but the landing pods. This piece right here. This is just like one of the pieces that fit on the older kit over the door in the pod. So this actually goes on this here, so that's something new. This piece is painted black. I'm gonna leave this piece off until the very end. Again, I'm gonna take this, prime it, paint it black, do this whole section together. Once this is all painted and some clear to protect it, and it's all done, then I want to put this finished piece and pop it in. Okay, because I don't have to worry about masking this and then getting a line around there and all that. It's just a pain in the neck. So little things like that, plan ahead so that you have less trouble later on. Less trouble as in less masking, less repainting, less touching up with a brush. Okay, so that's about it for right now. That'll be this part 3 I'm working on. Again, see, this is I don't think I showed you this before. This is the spine. They don't really tell you what order to do it. They just show you where the pieces go. So the way I just showed you a little bit ago, that's probably the easiest way to do it without going crazy. Once everything's together, what I usually do is I put some rubber bands just to keep it tight as the whole thing is drying as a unit. Okay, guys. Until the next part.